gentlemen, welcome to the sunny Italian Riviera. Enjoy the temperate climate, beautiful scenery, food, and wine. Explore the medieval coastal villages and their history, or relax on the beach. There's plenty to do here in the Italian Riviera. On behalf of CNC Airlines and our pilot Flynn, I'd like to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a lovely day and enjoy your stay here on the Italian coast.
Hello everyone and welcome to Italy! This week we are building a Vineyard Estate and tasting room. Any fellow wine lovers out there? Don't worry, if you don't like wine, we still love you. Right, Flynn? We do. So this is part 1 of 2. Because this is such a gigantic build, it is absolutely insanely big. I think this is the first time I've spent over 1 million simoleons on a build too. It's very elaborate. So this week we're just starting with the basic structure. You are going to see all the exterior done, the tasting room, and if you stick around to the end, you will see a little surprise tasting room. I added a private tasting room below the main tasting room level. So, I mean, a wine lover's dream. You have all the barrels of wine, you have a huge climate-controlled room of wine bottles, and just a nice little relaxed area to taste all the wonderful wine. I mean, I love that. So yeah, stick around to the end for that. It's pretty cool. But yes, we are in the Italian Riviera, and this region extends from the French-Italian border all the way to the Tuscan border, and it covers about 350 miles or about 350 kilometers or 218 miles. Let's get that right. The Italian Riviera is also split into 2 regions. So you have east of Genoa is the Riviera di Levante, and that's the coast of the rising sun. And west of Genoa is the Riviera di Ponente, if I said that right, and that is the coast of the setting sun. So just kind of split that area up a little bit. The Italian Riviera is home to about 1.6 million people. Decent amount of people living here. I mean, can't blame them. It's beautiful. And you will enjoy a very mild Mediterranean climate here. The temperatures range from 10 to 28 degrees Celsius. The most popular times for visiting and tourists are from June to September. I mean, that doesn't mean those are the only good times. Those are just the very popular times. You want to avoid the crowds, you can go outside the season. Obviously, it gets a little bit chilly in winter, but those are peak season, peak travel times in the season. And now this specific build, I was picturing being in the Cinque Terre region, and it's a rugged mountainous area between Genoa and Florence. And the name actually means 5 lands. And it's very appropriate because there are 5 villages in this region. And here is a warning. I can't roll my R's really good, so I'm gonna try. I'll make a complete fool of myself. But when you're taught the English language, we are not taught to roll our R's, which I don't know why, because so many other languages require rolling R's. So I am working on it. I really have to practice this. I assume it's like somebody who is learning to whistle, and if you told them to quick whistle, obviously when they first start, they're gonna be pretty bad. And the more you practice, the better you get, so I have a lot of practice to do. But anyway, the 5 villages, get ready for this. Monterosa al Mare, see, you can't roll that R, Vernazza, Cornelia, Manarola, and Real Maggiore. See, yeah, can't roll those R's, but there you go. I'm gonna work on it. So this area I felt was perfect for this build because here you will find hills that are perfectly terraced. You're gonna find all the wine vines and olive trees. It's a perfect area for growing these, and it's beautiful. And that's exactly what I wanted to do with this, is have those terraced vineyards and vines, and we already have some of that in this world, and I just figured this was perfect. So this is the area I kind of had in mind as I was building this. And specific to this area, there's kind of some neat things. So in these 5 villages, cars are banned. So there is a very old 19th century railway that cuts through the mountains that connects the villages together, and it connects them to the outside world. But once you're there, there's no cars. So this area is a little bit more remote. There's not as many tourists, which is kind of cool. And before the railway, this place was even more remote, and you'd have to obviously walk from village to village. And that's something you can still do today. You can buy a pass and you can use the trails, and it'll take you about 7 to 10 hours of journey time from one end all the way to the other. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. Something else about this region. So in the Sims world of Tartosa, there is a lot of reference to pirates. 500 years ago, the Italian Riviera and the French Riviera were not exactly the safest places to live. So you're dealing with all these pirates, marauders, you have people coming in and capturing people for slaves. Not great. In this area, you will find a lot of watchtowers that were built along the coast so they could watch for the pirates. And on a specific date of July 8th, 1544, pirates invaded the village of Monterosa al Mare, and they were led by the famous Turkish pirate, Dragut. The pirates looted the village, they burned down the church, and they took people prisoner, and they held them for ransom. What is kind of interesting is modern day now that this village holds a commemoration and a reenactment of this event. So if you're around for that time period, you can experience this. There's some other villages in the area that kind of do pirate festivals. And then another little side note, which is pretty cool for all you foodies, pesto and focaccia were born in the French Riviera. So I would expect to find some of the best pesto and focaccia that you would be able to find anywhere. Focaccia is good. I really could go for that. Yeah, me talking about food, I'm sorry if I'm making you all hungry. I'm hungry now. I could go for Italian. But yeah, that was just a little bit about the French Riviera, and we can talk a little bit about the build. So the exterior, I will say, changed a lot. And as you can kind of see it kind of flip a little bit. I was trying to get this a little bit brighter, and we just didn't have the color that I wanted. This kind of bright, vibrant pastel colors are pretty popular on the Italian and French Riviera. You'll see that a lot, and that's what I was really going for, but I was also going for that very elaborate look, and I did have to change things a few times. I wasn't happy with how things turned out, and you'll kind of see how that's going right now. Did I mention that this build has CC? If I didn't, you probably already figured that out. I'm really enjoying using CC, and I'm enjoying just building using packs that are with the game, that come with the game, that you can purchase to go with the game. This is such a beautiful CC. I really, really enjoyed using it. This was so much fun. And I don't know, if you haven't used CC and you have the opportunity to, if you're playing on PC, I would highly recommend it. I also feel like CC is needed for certain architectural styles. Like there's some things, like I'll just use Gothic. We don't really have Gothic items in the game, but you can get Gothic items that are CC. So if you really want to do something more authentic, we need CC. And I knew for this, I just really wanted to use it, especially with the interior, as you'll see in part 2. The interior is very opulent, very, very fancy, and with research, this is kind of what I was seeing in this area for these big feathers, for these big giant villas. The interior is very opulent. A lot of these are very old, and that's exactly what I wanted to represent in this build. Oh, and I should mention, so this is residential, This would work out so good for a wedding venue. You could turn this into a wedding venue. You can totally do that. This would be beautiful. You can make this a bar. You could make it a vacation home. It's totally up to you. I made it residential just because I feel like a very wealthy family lives here. I feel like this vineyard has been in the family for a very, very long time. So this is like the ultimate place in Tartosa, or the Italian Riviera. And yeah, so you gotta stick around next week and check out the interior, but we're just wrapping things up here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a like and stick around because next week is the interior. And thanks so much for being here, everyone. We will see you next week.